this video, we are looking at the brand new WWE Elite Series 121 CM Punk and Gunther figures, man. Really excited for these. We finally have a look at the mainline Elite packaging that we've been waiting on, man. As you can see here, we do have a front viewing window. Just so much, dude. Hold up. I gotta get a comparison, man, because, and I know we did a comparison earlier, but this is different because it's actually the main Elite line. So let me get this out of the way. So here is a figure. This is an Elite 118 Tama Tonga versus an Elite 121 CM Punk. This packaging takes this packaging out to the back and puts it down. I mean, my God, man, this packaging right here is just not good, and I think this is a result of a lot of different things. I think the people that designed this packaging had their hands tied, and over here they were a lot more free, and you can definitely tell. It just looks like there was a lot of cooks in the kitchen. Maybe they had to keep some mandates or something. This right here just looks excellent, man. The window looks way better. There's no wasted space. Look at all that wasted space they had, man. This is just incredible. I love the new packaging in comparison to the old packaging. I don't know. Maybe it's like, not confirmation bias, but maybe is it recency biased, I guess you could say. I don't know, man. I don't think so. This is so much more superior in my opinion. But let's get Fivehead out of the way, and let's bring Gunther back, man. I'm really excited for these. This white Punk we saw back at Comic-Con. We did get to see this Gunther as well. Kind of an Elite equivalent of his Ultimate. We're going to compare it to that. We're going to get into some great things today, and I think the CM Punk could be possibly the best Elite Punk they've made since his return. But as we spin it to the side, you can see both talents right there, and on the back you get a good shot of both talents there with the rest of the figures in the wave. Lots of interesting things going on. They actually have a silhouette on both sides now, or sort of a, not necessarily an image of the talent, or I mean, not necessarily an image of the talent, that's literally an image of both talents, so you are a complete clown. Elite collection up top, as you can see, but if you guys like these figures already, you want to buy them for yourselves, go over to Ringside Collectibles, use code MD Toys to save yourselves 10%, and they are who makes videos like this possible, so go over there, use code MD Toys, save 10% for today. We're going to crack both of these out, see what they're about, man. I'm really hyped about this white gear. You guys know I love white gear. I think it's possibly my favorite CM Punk gear of all time. We'll see. We'll crack it open. We'll take a look at it. It's definitely up there. But we're going to unbox these guys and find out what they're all about and see how they compare with the rest of our figures here, man. So with that being said, let's shut the hell up, crack them both out, and see what both of these Elite 121 figures are all about. So here's a look at Elite 121 CM Punk and Gunther, and damn, these QC issues. And I don't know what is up with these QC issues. They're ridiculous, man. They're ridiculous. I don't understand them, which we'll get into. You'll see it throughout the video. But I like a lot of aspects of these figures. We're going to get into them. I'm actually shocked by one of the aspects of these figures that makes me actually really happy, and I think it's going to allow for kind of a big deal. And I'll get into that as we of course, unpack it and everything like that. But what we're going to do is take a closer look at CM Punk's accessories and CM Punk, and then we will go back and we will take a look at Gunther's accessories and the Gunther, man. So let's dive into these accessories. So getting into CM Punk's accessories, it is the main Elite line, so what are you really going to get? But we do get some quality. We do have this sleeveless tank top CM Punk shirt. It says best in the world with the two fists going through, kind of that modern shirt here, and I could be wrong, or maybe it was slightly different. I think this is the same shirt that came on his Ultimate Edition most recently, the SummerSlam 2024 gear with the black and pink, I think, unless I'm just completely missing the mark there. It looks familiar to me, or maybe it's just looking like a bunch of other shirts, but it is Velcro, so you can Velcro it in the back, which is great, but cloth goods make the world go round. We love this, and at least we do get this in the packaging. You know, no interchangeable heads or anything, but damn, I'll take a good cloth goods tee. And outside of that, we do get some interchangeable hands. You'll also notice these are not sculpted. You don't have the sculpted hand tape. You got a little piece of skin right there. That's what I'm talking about with these QC issues, man. I mean, my goodness. Regardless, you could actually acetone that off, but there's no sculpted hand tape, but you do get the red X's and the, you know, painted on or the molded hand tape, not sculpted on, but it is, you know, the hands molded in white, and then they paint the skin tone on there. But you get a pair of mic holding hands, and then you get a pair of fists, which are the same deal. So you get a pair of fists with the red X's and a pair of mic holding hands with the red X's. So getting into CM Punk, man, one thing that I do not like about this figure, I'm not big on the head sculpt. I think the likeness is there. I just don't like that they're looking to the left. This is something that kind of bothers me about the figure. So if you do like this, it's fine because he's kind of looking off to the side. I just don't know. I like it when they look straight on. You can tell me what you think of that. You know, if there are figures that exist that you can move the eyes, that's a completely different gimmick, and I think that works. This, I don't like. I don't know why. I mean, is it the biggest deal? No, I just don't personally like it. You also notice that his hair is that light brown color that we've seen before. I think the black looks better, or it should be a little bit darker. I think if you put a wash over it, it would probably help, but you do get that salt and pepper in the beard, which is solid. It's not that it doesn't look like Punk, I just don't like that he's looking off, but we have that same Daniel Bryan style torso, got all his tattoos. I think it is time to update the chest deco. I actually think that maybe on that Top Picks figure we'll get a redo of his deco, and they'll make it look a lot better. But you do have his tattoos going down. You do have the sculpted wrist tape that still looks really good. I think that looks awesome. I think it's so subtle. They've done such a good job of making it subtle. It's not thick and bulky. It just is so subtle that it looks really clean. But, you know, it is kind of weird because the hand sculpt, they didn't give us the Ultimate Edition hands, so you're not getting, you know, those the continued sculpt. So it is just painted on here, which isn't the biggest deal, but it's certainly noticeable, I guess, or at least to me it is. But this white gear, probably one of my favorite gears that he's ever worn. This is Bash in Berlin 2024. Got the stars on there. They look like they're climbing slightly. You can see they're offline just a little. It's not the most noticeable. You also know I have a little nick right there. You can see a little brown stuff right here on the edge of the trunks. And then he also had a little blue mark on his forehead right there. I don't know if you guys can see it, but spinning it around, you do have the back style shot of the figure, and then you do have, you know, the tattoos there. No tattoo on the back of the ear, nothing, and everything going on, but no stars on the back, which I do believe was accurate to the time. Then you do have the black knee pads. One thing that's also great is he does have pinned joints instead of pinless, but the kick pads are really clean as well. However, you do get some deco hits right here that are, you know, a little out of line. So you can see the blue and black are not in line. So you get some really funky looking QC issues right there, which is kind of annoying. But you can see some paint nicks and stuff. I don't usually make a huge gripe about the QC, but it can drive you nuts, especially on a white gear like this. It really stands out. But as far as a modern CM Punk, it is pretty good, man. The head can look down a little, not really up or anything. I feel like this head sits pretty damn low, but he can look side to side and all the way around. This is a classic torso, so we are going to get a pretty good ab crunch there. Can't go back that much there. Shoulders go above 90. You also notice he has, or you may not see it, but there are some white dots all over his shoulders, so there's another QC problem. But you get full range here, bicep cut, pinless double jointed arms, which are beautiful, hinge and swivel in the wrist. Of course, you get a nice waist swivel, and he is on ball joints, so he can kick forward pretty good there. Legs go out to the side, and he does feel really good in hand. I mean, because these legs are on ball joints, because he doesn't have pinless joints, he moves pretty incredibly well. I'm enjoying the posability of this figure. He feels really good in hand, and it's crazy because back in the day, CM Punk figures were not very fun, but in the modern day, his elites have taken a lot of strides. But you get upper thigh cut, double jointed knee, you get the classic kick pad rotation there, ankles go down and up, and then you do have the new ankle articulation that does get a bit loose at times, but not the biggest deal of all time. I like it, but I do want to get into some CM Punk figure comparisons and take a look at some other things. So for your CM Punk figure comparisons, I do believe this is every CM Punk Elite and Ultimate that we have gotten of CM Punk since his return to WWE. If you go from left to right, I'll name all of them here. So we have the Mattel Creation Straight Edge Ultimate Edition CM Punk, the Ultimate Edition Ringside Exclusive 2011 Money in the Bank CM Punk, the Elite Series 113 in the Macho Man gear, the Mattel Creation Survivor Series War Games Return Hell Frozen Over CM Punk, the Top Picks WWE Elite based on his first live event match, the most recent Royal Rumble 2025 Elite, the Elite Series 115, the Defining Moments Ringside Exclusive WWE Elite Pipe Bomb Punk, the From the Vault Straight Edge Society CM Punk, and then we have the newest Ultimate Edition here, and of course the Elite Series 121. And we have the new Top Picks coming, we have a new Ultimate Edition coming, and there are plenty more Punks to come, I'm sure. I'm sure of it. But we've gotten a ton of CM Punks that have released, and all kinds of different eras, all kinds of different looks. And this one may be my favorite gear that we've gotten of all of them, even though I do like some of these other gears. I love the camo, the straight edge, but the white is just so smooth. But out of all of these, it's crazy because you have sculpted hand tape on this Ultimate Edition Mattel Creation Straight Edge Punk. No wrist tape sculpt though. On this one you have wrist tape sculpt but no hand sculpt. On this one you have both, and then on this one you have hand tape but no wrist tape, I think. Or did this one have it? Okay, this one has both as well. So one thing I also want to do is I want to take this and I want to show off some head swaps. So if you take this figure, pop this off, you can put on the Angry head sculpt from the most recent Ultimate Edition. And that right there looks pretty damn good, man. Look at that. Got that old man pissed off CM Punk right there. Even though I think that this head sculpt's kind of Ebenezer Scrooge looking. I've mentioned that before. So you have that for a head swap. You could also take the Top Picks head sculpt, which is the Elite 115 and the Mattel Creations Hell Frozen Over one, which also looks pretty good. Kind of got that shaved look, so that's a pretty good look and fix up as well. Then you take the Smiling Ultimate Edition one right here. Put this one on here, so now you got kind of a smiling one. I call this one the Colin Farrell head sculpt because it looks just like him. That's pretty damn good as well. I don't hate that one. And then this classic smirking one I really like as well, and I think this would make for a really clean figure. Yeah, that right there is clean as hell. So if you don't like the current head sculpt, you could easily do a head swap, and these are pretty good fix-ups for this Elite 121 CM Punk. And now we're getting into Gunther's accessories, and I think this is a perfect amount of accessories and balance for a main WWE Elite. I think you take care of everything you really need for a Gunther Elite. Like, we're getting his entrance robe or his entrance jacket here, and I'm pretty sure this is the exact jacket you get with the Ultimate Edition, which is pretty crazy. So you have the cloth goods, it's in this brownish color, it's got the silver dots, you do get the little white cuffs or the white, I don't even know what you call that, collar, I guess. You have the line there, and then it gives you that kind of pokey out look deal, or the triangle pattern, looks pretty good. And on the back you get a couple dots. So, you know, it's not the most crazy thing, but it looks exactly like it looks. I mean, I don't know really what to say. I do like it. Perfect representation of the coat. I don't know why you would hate this, and I think this is a one-of-one recreation or the exact same jacket slash coat that you got with the Ultimate, so that's very cool. And then for our championship, we are getting the World Championship here with the Gunther side plates, which is pretty cool. We don't get this championship very often. I feel that, and don't get me wrong, they've included this one more than the other championship, but it seems like we don't get a ton of the modern championships. I don't know what it is, or at least the main World Championships like this one and then the Undisputed Championship. I feel like we don't really see it that often. Remember back in Elite Series 46 when they first included, you probably don't remember this, but if you're a ball knower, you know that the Elite 46 Sheamus is the first figure that came with the WWE Championship with the new sculpt, and after that they pumped it out quite a bit. They were putting it with a lot of figures, so it would be nice to see that pumped out more, but I do like this World Championship and it looks very clean. We've seen it before, but you have the Gunther side plates on it. And then outside of that, you do get a pair of the mic holding hands, and then what would Gunther be without his signature weapons? You got the knife edge chop hands or the entrance hands, handshaking hands, whatever you want to say, but this is the newly sculpted version of the Ricochet Kawhi Leonard style hands. So now we're diving into Elite 121 Gunther, man, and I really like this head sculpt. This is a new head sculpt. As much as it resembles other Gunthers, this actually is new, and I think it's pretty strong, you know. I think for the most part, I like the hair color. I think the fade looks good on the side. Really strong likeness. I like that smirk, you know. Got kind of a 5 o'clock shadow going on, a little stubble going on. I like it. I think it looks just like Gunther. And another thing is, this is pretty much the Elite 102 Gunther in the shoulders, the arms, the torso, and even on the legs. Like, so pretty much this is a repaint of the Elite 102 with a new head sculpt. And we're going to get into the comparisons and stuff, but I really dig this torso. I love the bigger shoulders and arms. The leaner look of Gunther here looks really good. On the back, you get Ring General. And I can't remember, I want to say this is the exact same gear we saw in his Ultimate Edition. Again, we will compare them, but white stripes on the side, which look good. Just a overall really nice Gunther figure that we're getting right here. And the legs look really, really good. I like this leg look way more than the Ultimate Edition. Again, you got the little brown maroonish socks coming up, and then you do get the tall boots with the white laces and the white outsoles. So not the most over-the-top figure, but you do get some good stuff. And just because it's, you know, it's not the most toyetic, but at the same time, the figure is just so damn good, man. Look at it. It's like perfect proportions, great looking head sculpt, and he can look down a little bit, look up a little bit. You get a little bit of head pivoting and things like that. Ab crunch is surprisingly very good, especially for a more modern torso. He can go back that far. Shoulders go above 90, full rotation, bicep cut, of course, double jointed pinless arms, swivel and hinge in the wrist, absolutely. Solid waist swivel there. He is on ball joints, so he can kick forward nice. He can go out to the side nice. You want to be careful coming back in, though. But he can kick forward on this side as well. And because they are using the same legs as the Elite 102, you are not getting stiffness. Look how smooth this figure is. The Elite 102 Gunther was one of my favorite Elites of the year. And so this one is just a repaint of that figure. So this figure is going to be really damn good as well, man. It's so nice, so nice. But you do get boot cut. The feet go up and down. And you do get that ankle pivoting, but it's not as loose as others. It's actually quite nice there. This figure feels phenomenal in the hand. If you guys are posability guys, you're going to like this guy one bit, and you should know that from the Elite 102, but let's get into some figure comparisons here. So for your Gunther figure comparisons, what's kind of crazy is if you look at all of these, you have the Elite Series 102 in the red, you have the new Elite 121 in this brownish maroon, then you have a real maroon. So I used to think this was kind of brown, like the jacket is brown and everything. This is more maroon. This is more of a maroon deep red. This is more of a brownish red, and the boots are definitely brown. So you have maroonish, sort of William Regal color, and then you have, or then again, this may be more William Regal color. I'm getting confused. This is more brown, though. This is more maroonish. But then you have Walter over here, which is just crazy. I remember being so upset when they changed his name, and now I don't even remember the Walter name, which I still think Walter is a better name. Just crazy, man, how that works, man. They know how to get you. But these two share the same head sculpt, but you can see this head sculpt is definitely different. Like, just compare these two head sculpts right here. Not bad, man. Not bad. They're definitely similar, but what I want to do also is I want to remove all of their coats so we can see the differences and the true builds of all these figures. So for your comparisons, you will notice noticed the thing about the Ultimate Edition is it stands a little taller. Its arms and shoulders aren't the more cut look. They're more of a, they're lean, don't get me wrong, they're lean, but they're not as cut, right? These are much more bigger and things, and usually I'm more of a fan of a more realistic look and stuff, but I just like the proportions and build of this figure. This one looks weird to me. It always has. I don't really care for the torso and stuff, but it is kind of crazy to see this all unfold and seeing the differences between these if you were trying to make a decision. But I would say, I mean, if you have this one and you don't want the championship, you don't want the new head sculpt, I think this Elite 102 Gunther still holds up. And if you have the Ultimate, I mean, I don't know. I think that this one's better to me. I just like the build and feel in hand of this one and the look of it more than the Ultimate Edition, but I know that I'm in the minority there. A lot of people are really all in on the Ultimate Edition, which I understand. It's just, you know, you get different opinions, man. You can let me know, but I don't know, just to see what it looks like, let's take this new head sculpt and put it on the Ultimate Edition just to see if you guys are interested in this or want to see what this looks like. It almost looks like it's going to sit a little high. Yeah, the head sculpt looks like it sits a bit high for me. I don't know if that works there, but we can also put the Ultimate head sculpt over here to see what that looks like. And yeah, you could easily do that, and that doesn't look bad half either. So that's pretty good, man. Looking a lot more jacked over here, baby. Looking pretty good, but I think I do prefer the newer head sculpt. The new head sculpt's definitely cleaner and better looking. It almost looks like you shrunk Gunther's head down. It's actually insane, but it doesn't for your Gunther figure comparisons. But I think that concludes our WWE Elite Series 121 review of CM Punk and Gunther. At the end of the day, we're getting some nice updates of these characters. You know, let's just start off with CM Punk. Again, the gear is the best part of this. I think that the gear looks really great. I do like that it has the sculpted wrist tape. Still waiting on that Top Picks torso, of course, which did go up for pre-order yesterday on Ringside Collectibles. Need to go over there, use code MD Toys to save yourselves 10%. I think Roman Reigns went up as well. So the newly sculpted torsos and the new Top Picks Elites of those guys that I'm very much looking forward to, those are on pre-order right now. But this CM Punk, I think, again, the gear is the best. I love the sculpted tape. I don't like that the hand tape is not sculpted as well. That's something we've seen a couple times now. Hopefully, very soon, all the CM Punks will have the sculpted tape, which they should. But the cloth goods are nice. It's a very nice CM Punk. I think if you're a Punk fan, this is an easy pickup. If you have missed the last few Punks, maybe that's something you want to do. And if you have the Ultimate Edition, I think this is a better modern Punk than that one, even though that one comes with more accessories. But this one's shoulders don't poke out. I also think that this head sculpt's not as good as the Ultimate, so maybe that's something you want to play with or you want to do a head swap. I would definitely do a head swap with one of his other Elites. We did some head swaps in this video. You can find the ones that you find the best or whatever the case is. You can, check that out for yourselves and figure it out. I also don't like the light brown color. I think the darker hair looks better in my opinion, but maybe you feel differently about that. I don't know. Maybe it just looks weird to me on camera. I don't really know. I'm trying to figure that out still. That brown color, I can't decide if I like or not, but the gear is very sweet. I really, if I find another one of these, I might buy another one just because you could customize this, and I kind of want to customize it and see what goes with it, but the CM Punk is very strong. I like it. It's a really good modern version of CM Punk. I think they should update the deco, though. The tattoo decals and stuff like that would be nice to see updated in some ways, and maybe we'll see that on the new Top Picks, but the Gunther figure is also very, very strong. I mean, if you go back a couple years ago, or it was either last year or the year before, when we got the Elite 102 Gunther, that was one of the best Elites of the year. I want to say it was a top 5, top 3 Elite of the year, and this one is pretty much that figure repainted. It does have a new head sculpt. You're getting the entrance robe or the entrance coat. You're getting it's not my favorite gear. I still like the other gear better, but you could easily head swap those. I like the red gear better than the brown, but you're getting the ankle articulation and stuff, and I think this is a better figure than the Ultimate. I like this Elite Gunther over the Ultimate, even though the Ultimate comes with different accessories and stuff. I just like the build of this Gunther compared to the Ultimate Edition. I don't know what it is. I've never really liked the Ultimate Edition Gunther, and you guys should know that if you've been around the channel for any amount of time. So that's just where I stand on that, but these figures are really solid selections of both. I don't hate them. I don't think that they are, I don't know if they're necessarily earth-shattering, but they're really good representations of the character, and that's really all you can ask for. But they pose well. They're both on ball joints. I love that neither of them have pinless joints. So that's what makes these really enjoyable, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to say that about some other figures coming soon. So anytime we get pin joints in the legs and they're on ball joints and the figures pose well and they look good, how can you deny it? I think these are really good, man. But if you guys want to grab these, go over to Ringside Collectibles. Use code MD Toys to save yourselves 10%. But that is pretty much going to wrap up our 2-in-1 review of CM Punk and Gunther from Elite Series 121. But what say it you down in the comment section? Let me know your thoughts, of course, down in the comments section. A huge shout out to the Patreon members as always, man. Thank you guys so very much for your support and belief. You guys are incredible, and I appreciate you every single day of the week. But I'm getting the hell out, man. I'll see you guys in the next one. Let me know your thoughts. I'll see you guys next time. Have a blessed one, and I'll catch you guys later.